Chapter 1066. Without another word, Ryder charged toward Donnie. Donnie was caught off guard, stumbling backward hastily to hide. She had only been exercising her work position to console everyone so that the banquet could keep going, as she was in charge of organizing the event herself. On top of that, she had Hugh on her side. There was nothing for her to worry about. Donnie did not expect these people to have the nerve to attach her in front of Hugh, and it caught her by surprise. Just then, Jen frowned at the sight. "Stop this nonsense." A muscular man behind Jan charged forward at once to stop Ryder. Both figures shot toward each other, but Ryder managed to dodge past the man and land two sharp slaps on Donnie's face. The two slaps rang out loud clear across the room, and Donnie's pretty face began to swell terribly. She spun around in a circle, then stared at Ryder in utter shock. The muscular man flew into a rage, humiliated that Ryder had been able to get past him as he exploded with a terrifying spiritual pressure. A long sword appeared in the man's hand, and he pointed it at Ryder coldly. "Come forth and meet your demise." Ryder turned to look at the man. The dagger in Ryder's grasp lit up with roaring spiritual flames, and a wave of spiritual pressure spread out. Both men were at peak of ambience level, so it was hard to tell who was the stronger of the two. Their spiritual pressures began to surge onto the hall, causing piercing howls from the wind. Huge, Jan, and the others were immediately protected and sent to a safe place at the back where they watched the battle coldly. "Are the special forces here yet?" Hugh shouted coldly. His secretary hurried over at once. "They're on the way, but it's going to take them 10 minutes to get there because they're armed." Hugh sneered, saying nothing further. Just then, Jan gave him a reassuring smile. "Don't you worry about it. I'm fairly confident in Jamari's skills. We're all safe now." Vale and the others heaved a sigh of relief at those words as well. The special forces were on their way, and they were all armed. These bastards were going down, regardless of how strong they were. Besides, they still have Jen's bodyguard to hold the ground before the special forces arrive. Just then, Wilbur dragged Wesley with him to watch the show on the stage. Wesley asked shakily, "Sir, this seems to have gotten a little out of hand." Over 20 people had been heavily injured, and government officials like Hugh and the others were present. What was going to happen if this kept escalating? Wesley was starting to panic a little now. Yet Wilbur merely smiled. "If the sky just so happens to crumble, I'll be here to hold it up. You've got nothing to be afraid of. If you really are scared, you can leave. Get out of Exodus province and go as far away as you can. I'm sure they won't give you any more trouble after this." Wesley lowered his head at those words and gritted his teeth. "I'm terrified, but I'll face whatever it is if it means I'll get revenge for my parents." "That's more like it. You're a man, and you should act like one, otherwise, you won't even make a good enough pawn," Wilbur said calmly. Ryder looked at him in confusion, unable to understand what he meant. Just then, however, an enraged Jamari had begun charging toward Ryder. He swung the sword in his hand wildly as he passed by Ryder's body. Ryder's expression was icy as he blocked the sword's attacks with his dagger. Two loud expressions could be heard, and Ryder hurtled into Jamari's arms. Jamari took a step back, swinging his sword again. Ryder raised his dagger to meet the attacks before doing the same thing he had just now as he shoved his entire body toward Jamari and stabbed viciously at Jamari's belly with the dagger. Jamari was infuriated. He swiftly dodged the attacks by leaning to the side, then stabbed his sword toward Ryder's neck. Rampart's spiritual energy surged into the air, crushing the tables and chairs within a 5-meter radius. Ryder refused to back down in the slightest. His dagger lit up with spiritual flames as he pounced at Jamari once more to stab his dagger into Jamari's chest, seemingly uncaring of Jamari's sword. Ryder's strategy was more or less a suicidal one. Jamari would be able to chop Ryder's head clean off his shoulders, but Ryder would also be able to drive the dagger right through Jamari's chest. Wilbur could not help but shake his head. Ryder's temper would one day be the cause of his demise.